Right, I thought we'd do a climate change update. Let's go to our first article. Mobil Oil Company's chief executive, Raleigh Warren Jr., warned of a buildup of CO2 in the atmosphere years and years ago, back when he was living and worked for Mobil. He said that using heavy oils such as tar sands and unconventional reserves such as shale fracking or liquid coal processing, these would all enhance global climate change fast, very fast, because of the CO2 buildup in the atmosphere. Warren warned everyone in Mobil Oil of this in 1982. And of course it was completely ignored. So he felt that both unconventional and heavy oil had to be, quote, both of these fears should be seriously addressed, talking to the Mobil executives above him about what we were going to do about this problem. This reminds me a lot of the tobacco trials. Remember those, where the executives said they had no idea that it caused health problems, but then when after the trials, of course, it came out that, of course, they did know it and admitted to it with their own warnings back then. But just as the situation was with the tobacco company, will be the same way with the oil companies. And don't forget, it's the people that are demanding the oil. If people were really concerned about this, they wouldn't be buying these gigantic SUVs here in the US. They're buying them and they're taking up 1.5 spaces of parking to one regular car. That's how big these things are getting. Of course, they're drinking fuel and costing us a lot of air pollution just in the manufacturing of such a huge vehicle, let alone driving it and maintaining it and the tires and the whole thing. You know, it's just, for one person, is absolutely ridiculous. It tells me that we don't care about global climate change or excessive heat, because we'll just turn on the air conditioner. I laugh at that. Problem that we're having with honeybees around the planet. Let's go over to the board and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, honeybee colony collapse has been around for a while now, and it's been getting worse every year. But the last 2 winters has seen some of the most amazing winter die-off of honeybee hives. A survey was taken, and beekeepers say that during 2013 to 2014, the loss was between 22.3% and 28.1% of the population died off during the winter. But 2014 to 2015 saw a 40.6 to 44.1% die off of honeybees. That's the most we've ever seen. They're saying the cause is from pesticides such as Roundup, mites, and malnutrition, because they can't eat anything because of the pesticides keep interfering with them, and they literally starve to death. There are many reasons why honeybees are dying, but it's human cause, and humans can insist on not using Roundup or any other pesticides on their gardens at home. You know, go organic all the way with your gardening. The easiest way to keep pests from bothering your plants is by using native plants that grow in the area before humans got there. You can go to most nurseries and they'll have a selection of native plants that you can use around your area. There was another study that had some more information on why the honeybees and bumblebees are dying off. Bumblebees are native to the area here in the U.S. and they're dying off very fast too. In fact, bumblebees do a lot more pollinating than honeybees do and are extremely important for us to survive. But let me go show you some more information that'll just blow you away. So from 1842 to 2014, CO2 in our atmosphere has risen from 280 parts per million to 398 parts per million. But the study comes in the form of how much protein there is in pollen. Honeybees and other bees get their nutrition through pollen and through nectar. Pollen has to have a certain amount of protein in it for bees and other insects to continue to live. From 1960 to 2014, protein in pollen has decreased to 30%. They are blaming that directly on the rising CO2 levels. Speaking of CO2, let's go over to the board and find out what the latest CO2 readings are. They're absolutely off the charts. So today's count was 408.08 parts per million. Now we saw earlier in the month that it was up to 409.9 something. I forget what exactly the number was, but it was close to 410. Last year it was 403.50 parts per million. This number is the number we've been watching, as you know, and that's up to 4.58. It keeps growing faster and faster. We're headed into a complete and utter collapse of all life if this keeps going. Now we saw what happened up at Fort McMurray there in Canada near the tar sands. We've talked about these very tar sands in a video quite some time ago about possibility of a fire getting into the tar sands causing a catastrophic situation for everyone, and it came very close to that, didn't it? There were two fires that actually made it into the oil sands pits themselves, but they were able to put them out. But the situation is grim. But the unfortunate news is that they're back starting up the tar sands again, and they will continue to pump and mine this horrible tar sands oil. So Ontario's Premier, Kathleen Wayne, says that this is just a harbinger of things to come. They expect a lot more extreme weather year by year to increase more and more intensity on the fires, and the temperature of the fires will become hotter and earlier in the year, burning more and more acreage. In fact, the Fort McMurray fire isn't even expected to be put out for another month or so. There's so much environmental news, I can't even get it into the video. I should do 2 or 3 more of these just to get it, just to talk about all the different environmental news that we're seeing these days. It's really getting bad. And of course, here in the US, the 2 candidates that are front runners, Donald Trump says he doesn't believe in climate change at all, and Hillary Clinton couldn't care less. So apparently we're not going to do anything about it, and this thing is going to hit like a ton of bricks when it comes down, and it's coming down right now. Right now I'm looking at all the tornadoes happening in the Midwest here in the US. During tornado season, we're seeing more increased violence with the tornadoes and more of them, though this season isn't too bad yet. We'll keep watching. So I appreciate all the comments in the last videos, and the ups and the downs, and the new subscribers, and we'll keep watch on this. And until next time.